Hey, what's going on, guys? I got CheFPV here, Zero Ground FPV, 500 below. Check it out. Now live. Um, we are here today with a low pro bag. Pretty small low pro bag, if you ask me. If you look at that, there you go. Um, this low pro bag, I don't remember which model it's. Oh, a Viewpoint CS80. So Viewpoint CS80. I had this bag already whenever I actually got what's inside of it. And I wanted to show you guys a couple things. I'm going to do a little series on some tips and tricks for the DJI Mavic. And inside here is my DJI Mavic. So we're going to start with the gimbal lock and how I package mine on the go. I also will explain why I have it in this bag and not a Fly More kit. I have a DJI Mavic Pro with 2 batteries. The only thing I don't have that I wish I had was an additional full charger, but I don't have an additional full charger yet. I'll find one online at some point. The reason I did not go with a Fly More kit is I had this bag and some other ones, and I also just like my own choice and options in coming up with how I want to carry my my drones and all my equipment. I have a lot of FPV gear and stuff that I carry, and I wanted to make sure that this could fit and kind of be modular with everything else that I have. So that's what this is all about. And it just happened to fit in this case perfect. So instead of spending that extra $300 on some stuff I wouldn't use, like 3 batteries plus the ability to charge in my car, which just wouldn't make sense. Why would I ever charge 3 batteries in my car? The hub, which charges 3 batteries and one at a time instead of all at once. So I would rather spend the money on 2 batteries, which is more than enough flight time, and try to find a battery charger. And for that, I spent a lot less money than $1,300, and I already had this. So that's my homemade Fly More kit right here. So with no more ado, let's go ahead and open up this, and I'll show you what this actual video is going to be about, is how I package and take my Mavic with me and how I don't forget about my gimbal lock, how I make sure the gimbal lock is in the correct way, and the ways that I've seen that it doesn't. So here's my Fly More kit for Troy, or for CheFPV. Got this great case, like I said, the Viewpoint CS80. You can hold extra SD cards right there under there if you wanted. And then you have this additional flap with cables. I have props. I have right here a pocket that has all the additional charger cables and such. So just great material. Lowpro's always been known to do some great camera style cases and such, and they've been getting into the drone stuff more lately. So just really great. And then you have obviously the bread and butter. That's my Mavic and all of what I have for it. So I could fit a 3rd battery right here if I really wanted to, and I could take that cable and just put it with the rest of the cables. It'd fit fine. But this really does fit just fine the way it is. Now, yes, the top of this is not necessarily, I mean, it's not 100% hard shell or anything, but I'm careful with this thing and when I'm going to pack it and take it with me. So this more than works for what I need. So, battery charger, extra battery, Mavic. Now, I wanted to show that I can shift this around, move it. Everything's good. I even make sure that I put the nose of the aircraft in between the 2 sticks, if you notice. The sticks don't get moved or anything. It's just, it's a perfect little setup. But that's not what this video is about. It wasn't about my low pro case. Sorry, something fell over underneath. What I did want to do was show you, again, that this doesn't move around or anything. I can take my radio out, and now you can kind of see I have the globe on the gimbal. I have the silicone on there too. I've never flown it with the gimbal cover. I actually need to go out and test fly it because I have an idea that that's how it's really truly meant to fly, and that's going to be how you're going to get the most stable video, because the wind is just so effective, or so affects so much on the gimbal. It's one of the reasons why you get a lot of the warnings is the wind on it. And I think a lot of people don't recognize it. It is a negative to have the glare, but if it helps deflect wind and keep the image stable, I think it's more important to fly it that way. And I also think it protects the gimbal from some other stuff. I think you'll see the life of the gimbal go down if you don't use it. So I don't know. I'm torn on it though. I haven't really decided. So point being though, the gimbal lock is the real issue. Now some people want to travel with the globe in place and are looking for a gimbal lock solution. you can take what I did and modify it slightly, and I'm sure you can come up with a better solution that works for you. For me, this works just fine without any modifications, and it forces me to basically keep an eye on everything. And the way I do that is, it is literally just set in the globe, because on the back side, you'll see I have my AirPix. I have a couple of these, but this one's an AirPix FPV. Remove before flight tag, and it's attached by drilling a hole into my gimbal lock. Just a very small hole in my gimbal lock, and now I have this attached to it. So no matter where I go, I've got this dangling red thing. Tells me pull this out before. So the gimbal globe, like I said, I haven't been using. So what I did was I still use it for transport because I don't want stuff getting all over the gimbal, and I don't want stuff to still bump up against it or anything. So I just take it and I put the lower two prongs in their spot, and I just let it sit just like that. All it's doing right there is pressing up against the keychain, and it's sitting on there. It's not even touching the gimbal whatsoever. It can't affect anything in there. It's in place. It's good. And by flipping the copter over and just setting it down on the gimbal cover, I don't have to worry about it. I mean, yes, that moved it off, but I'm moving it on a table. In the bag, it doesn't move. It's good. So that's why I keep the gimbal cover the way it is. I just set it in there. If you wanted to, you could put a little notch, a little hole or something right here on the edge, and you could put a much smaller key ring on this. This is just the only one I had. And if you could do that with maybe like a small lead or even like a piece of wire instead, you could easily fit this on there just like this and clip the gimbal cover in. For me, I would ask, if you clip the gimbal cover in and you put this inside or even leave it hanging out, are you still not also possibly likely to flip this thing over with the gimbal lock in place and power it on? I mean, for me, I would. I make the mistake. We all make the mistakes. We all do. So that's why I do it my way and do it this way. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, this isn't locked in place, but for me, it makes sense because when I go to take my aircraft out, it's going to fall right off and I'm going to go, oh, snap. And it's going to draw my attention to it. So that's why I do it. I hope I help. Look for more Mavic videos coming soon. Fly safe, fly smart. Just fly. 500 below, baby.